Good morning, welcome back to my channel. It's a new vlog. If you're new here, my name is Charlotte and I am the trauma-informed teacher, which this is a channel dedicated to teacher self-care. I understand the impacts that dealing with students that are having trauma in their lives might have on you as a professional. And so this channel is here to help you navigate that. I post videos twice weekly. Usually it's like Monday and Friday-ish. One vlog style and one teaching tip a week. So today is a little bit different day. It is actually Thursday and here I am at home. We are under a hurricane watch. Hurricane Idalia, it is coming in and I think it's in Wilmington right now. We've had quite a bit of rain overnight and our county lies in like a flood area. We are at sea level. In some areas we're a little bit below sea level. So whenever we have a lot of rain, there's a potential for flooding and makes it difficult to get the buses to school. So don't think there's any real danger. We're not making any plans to evacuate or anything like that, but we are having a remote learning day today. So I sent my students home with packets of work to do based on things we've already been practicing in class. And then I sent them with enough work for 2 days. There's a possibility we will go to school on Friday. And as it's looking right now, unless we get a ton of flooding from the winds on the back end of the storm, I think we might be going to school tomorrow, but we'll just see. I don't know what the roads are looking like right now in the lower areas of our county. So it's a big county. Our students sometimes are on the bus for more than an hour and a half. I think some of our students are on the bus for. So it's very spread out. So we can have, great weather here, and then in other areas there could be, conditions that are not conducive to bringing students safely to school. So hard to say what's going to happen, but I am using today as a reset day. I have some things that I have not been able to accomplish around my house, some things that I have not been able to accomplish for my schoolwork, and I just in general am using today to kind of get a jump on things. So I'm going to, thank you, Joe brought me breakfast. So I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I'm doing. I made myself a little list here, and then I'm looking at my summer list of things that I wanted to accomplish, and I'm kind of checking in to see how I did with that. Let's take a few minutes, shall we, to appreciate this lovely egg sandwich.
No.
Baxter wants my egg sandwich. All right, so this week has been a pretty good week at school, but I can say that the honeymoon period is over in my class. I have great kids. They're sweet kids, but they are a large bunch and they're a very energetic bunch. So we're getting to the point now where I'm having to enforce the procedures and routines, and it's a little bit more work than teaching the procedures and routines. So I want to really take some time today to think through my plan for my personal classroom steps. We have a school-wide flow chart for discipline, and I want to think through how that impacts what I'm doing in my classroom. And up to now, we have these check sheets that we fill out for students, because I was just teaching the procedures and routines to my students and practicing them. I hadn't even made copies of the check sheets yet, and so I want to make copies of the check sheets when I get back to school, whatever day that happens to be, and get that going. But I just want to really think through what is that going to look like in my classroom, as far as me matching my own, levels of consequences to our school and expectations. So I need to take a look at that today. I need to do some planning, long range planning, map out some of my curriculum units, because I changed grade levels, and We have a brand new reading curriculum, so I'm trying to do a lot of thematic teaching this year in order to make better use of my time and make sure I can get through all of my reading, because my reading is intense, and until I really learn it, it takes a little bit longer. So I'm trying to, incorporate my other subjects into my reading, so I need to work on my professional development plan, because I have a meeting with my principal this afternoon. That's probably going to be like the first thing that I do, so that that's done and out of the way, and I'll be ready to do that. I also need to work on some assignments for my own personal class that I'm taking for my principal licensure. I need to do a little reading. I need to complete a discussion post, and then work on an assignment that is due on Sunday, so that I won't be doing it last minute. As far as the house goes, I need to tidy up the bedroom. I've got some things on my bedside table that I need to clean up, and I need to take care of the laundry and my personal laundry. Unfortunately, it's the beginning of the school year, and our dryer just decided to have a problem. So we think it's like a relay switch or something like that, and it's not going to be super expensive, but we're trying to figure it out, and it's going to be a little while. So I don't have a dryer right now, and it is very humid because of this hurricane. So I'm going to have fun, but we're going to do a load of laundry, and we're going to hang things all over. And hopefully with the fans on in the bathrooms, I can get it to dry, because I really need to get some laundry done. I want to clean the bathrooms and organize and tidy up the kitchen a little bit. Sometime in the next couple of days, I want to get some proteins made for meal prep. I don't meal prep every single thing, but I like to get my proteins cooked and seasoned, because that really saves me a lot of time when I come home and I'm tired and I'm trying to make something quick. For fun, I would like to read my book a little bit this weekend for leisure. And then today we're going to look at and reevaluate our goals and our plan for the month of September. So that's it. That is my plan for today. It might take me 2 days to get through all of this, but that's okay. Once I get started and I get rolling and I'm doing things, I feel like it goes so much faster. So, all right, let's take a look at the summer bucket list and see how we did. I'm getting comfortable here. This summer, I really just wanted to refresh myself mentally, physically, spiritually, all of those things, because it was a super challenging year last year, and it started from before the first days of school. Like right away, I hit roadblocks, difficulties, multiple things that were being taken away that I was used to having as supports. It was just not a good start to the year. And as the year went on, I continued to experience stress and changes that impacted greatly my ability to be, proactive in the classroom. Things that I couldn't control, that were just a change in direction from the district. And I kind of just got worn down last year, and I was really tired, because over the summer I enjoyed going to Zimbabwe, and then when I got back I had to take our daughter and move her into college. So I felt like I really didn't have any downtime last summer. So it was really important for me this year to make sure that I had quality downtime, that I just rejuvenated and that rested. I would come back rested and ready to tackle a new year in a new grade level. I feel like I did a really good job on that, like 10 out of 10. We did not make a lot of trips this summer, which sometimes we will go on a longer vacation, but this year we just kind of did staycations and did some things more locally. And I think that really helped us to decompress, because we weren't like packing and then leaving and coming back and trying to deal with the mess and all of that. We just weren't in that cycle. We just, did small things to where we didn't have a lot of, cleanup and preparation. So we really used our time well, I think, this summer. I did have on the list that I wanted to go on a vacation, and we did do that. We took our grandson Grayson away for a few days just to a local KOA that we've been to before. It has a great like swimming area, and we really enjoyed ourselves. He had a great time. I'm glad that we did it. We didn't have a lot of funds to do it at the time that we did because we had some major car repairs, and our daughter also needed some financial support at the beginning of the summer when she moved to Oklahoma. So between those two things, like, we spent more money right off the bat of what we had saved back for summer. So when we went, we stayed one night, but we came very early, checked in as early as we could. And then the next day we checked out, but then we were able to enjoy all the amenities throughout the full day and didn't leave until like 5 p.m. So it was technically a 2-day staycation, and I really enjoyed it. I had that we would enjoy our pool as a goal, and I'm gonna tell you, like, that pool drove me crazy up until probably like almost July. We had so many problems getting it opened this year, but hopefully now we've figured some things out. We've been struggling with the fact that we have a lot of like fertilizers and things in our area that cause pH that encourages algae growth. And so basically, if you get algae starting to grow in your pool around here, it is very difficult to stop it. So you have to be preventative. You can't be reactive at all. And so we didn't have a cover over our pool last summer. We just couldn't afford one. We had put a lot of money into the pool already. And so this year we invested in a cover. So for the next season, it won't be so bad. But we had to take all the sand out of our filter and replace it. And when we did that, it made a huge difference. And it really wasn't an expensive or difficult process. So it's something we'll probably do every single summer because it made a huge difference. Also, we bought a ton of supplies at the beginning of the summer. We just, took like $500 and bought everything that we would need so that we had it ready and we could just put it in every week. So yeah, once we finally got our pool together, we had a tear in our lining, which we had just replaced last summer, but we accidentally, didn't have it completely level. There was a hole where the dog had been digging around the sides of the pool, and there was a hole, and Joe stepped in it, and it caused a big, huge tear. So we had to replace the liner, but we leveled everything out better. So I think we finally have our pool straightened out, and we've been able to really enjoy it this last couple of months, and we're gonna keep it open as long as the weather allows us to keep it open. I put on our list, have fun with grandkids, and we did do that. This summer I really made it a priority to go and see Alba. Tried to see her at least once a week, and I wanted just her to get to start to know who I was and, be happy when she sees me, which I accomplished, because when she first saw me, like, she'd cry. We had only seen her a few times, like when we were keeping her when her parents were going somewhere. And so now I think she knows, every time that Lulu and Papa come, they're not going to keep me. My parents aren't going to leave. And she seems happy. Like, we've had fun playing together. I've done some things with her. And when she sees me, she's glad to see me. So check on that one. Good job. Grayson got to come and spend some time with us a couple times this summer. Once when his mom brought him out here for vacation, and once when he just came out, we picked him up like halfway. And now they are moved to Suffolk, so instead of being 4.5 hours away, they are only like 2 hours away for us. So it's so much easier for us to spend time with him. So I'm really excited about that. I think we're going to see him more and more going into the next year. I had on my list that I wanted to read, and I did read some, but I wish I would have read more this summer. I think it's because I was so busy with my classes this summer that I was reading so much for school, and I wasn't able to like just pick up a book and read for leisure as often. So I want to make it more a part of like my evening routine going into the fall, that I read for like 30 minutes as I'm winding down. Gosh, I'm kind of stuffy today. I think it has something to do with the storm, maybe. I don't know, because we just washed our sheets, so it's not allergies. But anyway, so if I sound a little stuffy, sorry, that's what it is. Not sick, just probably air pressure changes and possibly all the wetness. I'm allergic to molds, so sometimes like I'll get like stuffy if there's a lot of rain because of like leaves and things like that. I had on my list to garden, and I did better than I did last year, but I was not able to keep up with watering my garden the way that I wanted to. So I'm thinking I'm going to be a better fall gardener this year than I was a summer gardener. And also, I think what contributed to the problem was that we put our garden boxes all the way out in the back of the yard so that the dog would not mess with them. But we also had to be able to take water out there, and I didn't really have any way to do that. I don't have like a wheelbarrow or anything right now. I was going to buy one, then we ran out of extra cash to do that. We had to keep our funds just for our everyday things. So just to make it easier, I think we're going to move the boxes closer to the house, and we're just going to have to train Baxter to stay out of them. I'm going to try to continue with the gardening into the fall and see if it isn't something that I can enjoy this fall. Beach days, we did have a few of those, and I felt like it was enough. Like we went, I don't need to go to the beach every single day now. When I first moved out here, I thought my summers would be like that, but it's just not realistic. Like we have other things going on, and now that we're living where we do, to live closer to the school, we're an hour and 15 minutes away. And so, it is kind of like it's your whole day basically when you go to the beach. So we did that a couple times, and I felt like that was good. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. Of course, you can still go to the beach year round. You just pick your days when it's nice, and we can go and take walks or whatever. So it might be something I do in the fall, but I'm probably not going to include it as a goal because I do feel like I got satisfied with what I planned to do. All right, I had ride on the boat on my little bucket list, and we did do that. We went out on the boat with Tucker and Katie, so that's always fun. Check. I had a technology detox day a couple of times, and I have to say, whenever I do that, I feel so refreshed and like my creative juices start flowing better. So I need to plan those for myself a little more often. S'mores by the fire. We did that with Grayson when he was out. We had a bonfire and made s'mores, and it was so good, so summery and fun. I had enjoy our outdoors. We spruced up our patio for sitting this year, and I didn't sit out there as much as I wanted to, but it's still a nice time of the year to sit out there, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. We already had the chairs. Our landlord left the chairs and said that we could use them, and we bought the cushions to go on them, so if we move, then we can take those with us and just purchase our own chairs. I found these tiles, wood tiles. I saw them on Michelle Reed's balcony makeover video, and I thought, hey, these would be great for making a little nice sitting area underneath our overhang, because our house is up on stilts, and so we have sort of like this big patio area underneath, and I just wanted to like make it a little bit nicer. And a lot of things tend to collect under there if you don't have it like set up a certain way. So my goal was to kind of like get everything cleaned up, contain all of the supplies and things to under the house so that we could just enjoy sitting around, and I feel like we did that. So I'm happy about that little project. I had that I wanted to do some DIY projects around the house, but that was not very realistic for the funds that we had. So I'm moving that to my fall goals. I also had a couple other food related ones, like enjoy ice cream, which of course I'm gonna do. I enjoyed the heck out of some ice cream all summer long. And make fresh lemonade, which I did do. Go to the library. I went to the library. In fact, I need to go back to the library and return some of my books. They're like a little bit overdue, but that's okay. I just like going and browsing and seeing all the different books. It's very inspiring to me to bring home a big stack of books with different topics. I just really like being immersed in a lot of reading options. So we did that when Grayson was here and really enjoyed it. I had watched the sunset, which I did many, many times. Farmers market visits. I would have liked to have gone to the farmers markets a little bit more, but they're mainly on Saturdays out here, and we were inspecting houses on Saturdays. So that is about to end. We have one more week, I think, going in, maybe 2 more weeks, and then we're done for the season. So when that is over, I want to visit the farmers markets this fall. I had on my list to go walking regularly, which also, again, I did go on some walks. I enjoyed the walks that I went on, but I didn't do it as much as I wanted. So I would like to make sure that I do that this fall. I think the main thing was that I was having trouble getting all of my schoolwork done and still finding time to move my body. So I need to make sure that when I'm working on my schoolwork that I am not getting distracted scrolling and doing random tabs and things on my computer, so that I can get my schoolwork done quicker and have a little bit more free time for things like walking. So that's something I want to work on, is minimizing distractions. I'm writing this down so I don't forget. Minimizing distractions during study time. And that's just a discipline that I need to enforce with myself, because I could get very distracted when I'm online. There are so many things I like to look at, and I'm like, oh, I deserve a break. I got that done. And then I'll like do too many breaks to where I'm extending the amount of time that I'm spending on my projects and papers to an unrealistic amount of time. So I really should be able to do better with that. I'm going to work on that this fall. I have to say, though, in my defense, I had some really paper heavy classes this summer, and I did that on purpose because I know I would be home and I could handle those classes, but it did impact some of the things that were on my list for my summer enjoyment. And the last thing that I had was to take a master class. Right now I'm wanting to learn more about video editing strategies, some things like that, capturing like storytelling kinds of things, so that I can hold my audience retention a little bit longer. I didn't get to that, so it's something I'm going to push to this fall, and I think it'll be a good thing once the weather starts getting cooler, even into the winter, that I will enjoy doing. So that's something that I can take my time on. It's fine. And the last thing I had on my list was to go to a concert, which I have not done. I wanted to try to find like some outdoor concert that was free, but there weren't a lot of them out around here. Most of them were like out west, and since we weren't taking any major like trips, then we didn't really make it like out to like Asheville or any place like that. Something that we can move to fall. Overall, though, I feel like I did a great job of resting and balancing work and play this summer, and I'm really happy with how I felt going into the new school year. I also did something that it might not at first seem like restful, but for me it was restful. I spent weeks on my classroom this year, but I didn't stay in my classroom for longer than a couple of hours at a time. So instead of like trying to cram all of my back to school like classroom setup into, a week or two, I spread it out and did a little at a time, because our the floors were done and I could do that. And that was so much nicer for me. Since I'm only like 10 minutes away from the school, it's really nice to be able to just pop over there, do a couple of things, call it a day, and go home and do something that I want to do. So I definitely think if I have the opportunity to do that in the future, I'm going to. I do feel like this summer there were a lot of classes that were offered for professional development, and I kind of, I enjoyed the classes that I went to, but I'd almost rather do that stuff during the school year because I feel like learning, maybe it's just because I'm in my grad classes right now, trying to do classes and trying to do professional development and while still trying to relax and have a summer. For me, it's not like my favorite way of doing things. That's just me personally. But I'm not complaining because it's really nice that the district offers that. I think it's nice that you have the opportunity to do learning over the summer. But personally, I would rather that they offered it like in the evenings as an online option more frequently so that I could like log in and take it from home. Or if it was even something that I could do like on my own time and decide when I had the time and take it. For me, that would be more convenient, but that's just my personal preference. Like I said, not complaining at all because it's great. The classes that I did take over the summer, like professional development that were offered by my district, were really good. I did not feel like I was wasting my time. It's just simply that I wanted that time, but overall, I do think I balanced it pretty well, and I learned some new things that are already helping me in my class this year, especially ideas about neurodivergence and how to work with students that have different learning styles, preferences, and needs. So, it was a good investment in my time, but it was time. All right, switch and take a look at my goals for the month of September.